The goal is to get really clear on the offer and the right fit person for that offer, the process by which they're going to say yes to the offer, so that we can build a program strategy that supports the offer in every moment. We're bringing them into this event, and we want to give them education and we want to give them resources, but this is not just here's all we can do for you, have fun with that. Like, we have a next step for you. Our highest service is to present a next step for those of you here who need it, or for those of you who know a family who needs it. When we present it, it gives them a chance to think through it. Your logical buyers are going to have questions that they need answered. They're going to need to talk to a team member. They need to know how and when, and like have all those questions answered. And you've got time to do that. It also allows them to see you in a different light for the rest of the event, which is not just this is going to be great info, but these people actually change lives, and they're watching how you're doing that. And you're going to be able to tie back to your offer the things that you've done in the event. Just like so-and-so talked about this morning, we do XYZ in the program, and you get to pull that back into your comments and things in between all the sessions. We want to start out with great info in the morning, right? Get them pumped, get them excited, so that by lunchtime, if that's all they got, they'd walk away saying this was totally worth my time. And then in the afternoon, we want to give them something that's going to show them the real difference. And generally we try to do that with a testimonial session, but you could also do it with case studies, or if you've got people who are faculty, if you can have them talking about how people came in and what we did for them and now their life is like this. You're sharing those case studies that show, so they can see, oh, wow, if it worked for them, it can work for us too. And then we transition into the invitation, which is presenting the offer. Generally, that is done right before like a dinner break, so that we can give them the invitation, give them time to go to the back of the room and fill out the application form, or put in their name, or make their deposit, or, whatever the case is that you're doing for that first step. That's generally like a 30-minute to an hour, 90-minute buying break right after the offer. Then to come back and do like Q&A with the audience, or something that shows your expertise in the moment. Like, this is not that he's reading from notes or his slides. He does this stuff. Like, he lives and breathes and he knows his stuff. It's kind of showing off what you can do by taking some of that Q&A from the audience. And that can be done on the fly, or that can be done by your faculty. And you can also have people in the morning submitting questions in advance that your team looks over and says, okay, this question is going to apply to the most of the people in the room. Let's answer this one. So you can sort of filter out those questions that get answered in that Q&A session, or that laser coaching session. So those 3 sessions, the testimonials with the offer, and then the coaching that shows off you and your team, and then the next morning that my team tells me, those are the most important parts of your event. That's the whole goal. Everything leads to the offer. The whole reason we're here is to try to get more families in the program so we can get more results. Those are super, super important times that we don't want to not prep for. You know your list of speakers already. What we want to be thinking about is, how do we make each of those sessions tie back to something in the offer? And how do we make those sessions help us address objections to the offer? And then have a conversation with those speakers to say, look, you are session 2 on day 1. Here's what I want you to be sure to emphasize in your talk. Because then when you make your offer, you can tie that back to something they've experienced. Your speakers as well will be very grateful to know what their place is in the program. Here's what happens before you get on stage. Here's who comes after you. Here's what we specifically want you and your expertise to emphasize for us, because we're going to tie back to that when we make the invitation for them. And that will help them be on page with what's happening here and feel a part of it as well, instead of just being a disjointed flying in, give my thing and be gone. When we're thinking about how we're presenting the offer, even the whole, my team tells me to start off day number 2 and reiterate the fact that the process is not hard if you've got someone to walk with you through it. and we want to get you in. We've got space for you. Our team knows how to do it. Let us walk you through it. It starts today during the lunch break, or it starts, when we end at 3 o'clock, our team is going to be here until 5 to help you get that paperwork done, something like that, so that you can walk away with the process started as of now. Anything you can do to guarantee their success in that program and to get them started in the process before they leave is going to go a long way to increasing those conversions. Any team members that you've got there or any volunteers for the day, if you can make a list of what are the objections, what are the questions they're going to have, everything from when is lunch, where do I get a copy of the schedule, to where do I sign up? What's the first step? Or what if I can't, whatever, like anything that your auxiliary team, your support team is able to answer for folks, even in regular conversations. If there's a place where you can have a set standard of this is how we want to answer this question when it comes up, so that all of your team member is answering the same way. And if there's a specific person that is the key person, like you need to go talk to Lori, let me walk you over and introduce you. Or, oh, that's a question for Sammy. I think she's over there. Let's go see if she's got a minute to talk, and like walk them over to get that question answered, because we don't want to push people into that decision, but we definitely want them to get everything they need to know whether this is for them or not before they leave, and get them started. When we think about what we're offering the people, and you think about if someone's been through your program, they've graduated and gotten results from it, what is the common thread that they say, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we are now, what do they say when they talk about the program? In your advertising leading up to this, or your follow-up for those who signed up, are you using that language like, we are going to show you how to save your, if we can hit that emotional roller coaster as it's going up, like before they even get in the room, they're identifying, like, then they're even more prepared to say yes. And in your emails, it's not just thank you for buying a ticket, here's when to show up. Like, we need to be re-enrolling them in why they bought this ticket and what they're going to get at the event. Reminding them of why they're coming, reminding them of what we're going to offer and what they're going to find when they get to the event. And a great way to language that so it doesn't feel like a freebie, it feels like something of value, is to tell your students or your current clients, hey, because you're a valued member of our program, we want to give you a ticket that you can offer to a friend. Like, we have to pay X number of dollars to provide this event for you, but we're willing to give you a comped ticket if you know someone who could really use it, who will sign up and will come with you. Like, it's not just for your brother's cousin that needs a day out. Like, this is for somebody who really needs this, and you can bring them with you. Some show up ideas. A lot of times you have 100 people register. If it's virtual, you may have 30 to 40% show up. If it's in person, you may only have 70 or 80% show up. So what can we do in advance to be able to increase those show up rates to the event? Number one is those emails that we're talking about. Obviously, there's a purchase receipt for their ticket, or a confirmation for their ticket. But beyond that, we've got 2 weeks before this event. What could we be sending them every day, every other day, to keep this front and center for what is coming? Is there info about the location and where to park and where to go when they walk in? Like, can you send them a facility map ahead of time? That could be an email. Could you talk about what kind of food is going to be available throughout the day? Are you guys providing lunch? Are they going to have to go out and get lunch? What restaurants are close by? That kind of thing. Walk through the registration process like a day or two before. Here's when it opens. Here's where to go. Here's what you're gonna find. Because the biggest reason people fear, or they don't take action, or they get intimidated about something like this, is because of what they don't understand. And so the more questions we can answer in advance, and the more we can get in front of them, every one of those different topics is another excuse to send them an email, which is another reminder about what they've signed up and committed to. So we're not worried at this point about spamming them or about them unsubscribing, because they paid for this, or they committed to come, and we're giving them information about this that will help them have a better experience. The other thing, which is completely optional, but I always want to mention this, is that if you can send them some sort of something physical in the mail prior to coming, it could be a postcard At this point, for virtual events, sometimes we'll send a little envelope full of what we call flat swag, something that reminds them like, oh, this is not just another class. This is like a happening event. This is something physical is going to go a long way for doing that. And you may or may not have time or budget for that at this point. But if you can, I recommend doing that. The follow-up phone calls as well, like, hey, we're a week out from this event. We just want to make sure that you're coming so we can get our head count right. That's a great reason to send a call or a text. Do you have any questions? Is there anyone that you would like to bring with you at the last minute? We've got a few seats left available. That's another way to try to get more people in the room. So looking at your deadline for numbers on site and things like that, figure out when those deadlines are and when you can make some of those kind of communication touch points. Anything you can do to remind them of why and of what they're getting. You can send out another email about the speakers and what they're known for and things like that, so they can check them out in advance or be excited about coming. All of those kinds of things are great for improving those show up rates on the front end.